Grace and peace multiply to you and yours in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Most High God, the Savior to those that keep His commandments. Hope everybody had a great day today, and enjoy and continue blessings that God bless us with His precious breath of life to wake up and see another day. Truly a blessing. Now, I'm coming to you today to clear up a matter concerning the truth, of course, as always, right? I'm coming to you concerning two things in the Bible about the children of Israel. The ancient children of Israel, according to color, that's the color of their skin, and conditions. Color and conditions. So, without further ado, turn in your Bibles to Genesis chapter 42. Turn in your Bibles to Genesis 42, beginning with verse 1. Verse 1. Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, Why do you look one upon another? And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither and buy it for us from thence, that we may live and not die, because it was a famine in the land. Verse 2. Verse 3. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, Lest peradventure mischief befall him, because that was his younger brother. Verse 5. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over the land, because Joseph's brothers sold him into Egypt. But the Lord was with him, and he rose to power in Egypt. He became like the third ruler. So Joseph was the governor over the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. Verse 8. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew him not. Whoa. Because over a decade had passed. Like I think 13 years or so had passed since they last saw Joseph. So they standing there. He was the governor in Egypt. So they thinking they looking at an Egyptian, right? But he was a Hebrew. Right? Bear with me. Hold on. Look at this picture. Let's show you a picture of an ancient Egyptian. You can Google this. You can look at the Valley of the Kings of the Pharaohs in Egypt. This is the tomb of King Ramses IV. You see the people on the wall? The carving on the wall? What do they look like? What color are they? They brown like me, right? I'm going to show you another picture, and then I'm going to get back to the scripture. Here's another picture. The Valley of the Kings. What do those people look like? Bunch of black folks, right? But they are Egyptians. Okay. Back to the Bible. So Joseph's own Hebrew brothers mistook him for an Egyptian. But that ain't nothing new. And that ain't the only example. I'm going to show you another one. Turn to Exodus chapter 2. Now this is when Moses was mistaken for an Egyptian. Exodus chapter 2, beginning with verse 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew. So he looking at two black guys. One of them an Egyptian, the other a Hebrew, and the Egyptian is smiting the Hebrew, one of his brethren. Verse 12, and he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Now I'm going to read on. Now, for sake of time, So once Pharaoh found out about this, Moses knew that Pharaoh was going to kill him for killing an Egyptian. So I'm going to skip down to verse 19. And they said, an Egyptian delivered us. This is the daughters of Midian. They said that Moses helped them, but they thought Moses was an Egyptian. It says, and they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock. Now you can read the rest of this on your own to get the full understanding, because I don't want to spend too much time on this. But it says that verse 15, verse 16, now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. Verse 17, and the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. So these daughters' father said, how y'all come back so early? And they said, because an Egyptian helped us. They mistook Moses, which was a Hebrew, for an Egyptian. Exodus chapter 4. Exodus 4. And this is when Moses had to show a sign by the Lord. Exodus 4 verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. What color is snow? White, right? So that ain't no miraculous sign of somebody already white pull their hand out and it's white. No, it's a miraculous sign of somebody that look like me pull it out and it's white. Then he made him put it back in and he changed it back to his original color. Go to the New Testament. Show you somebody else who was mistaken for an Egyptian, who was a Hebrew, who also would tell you in the scriptures, an Hebrew of Hebrews. Acts chapter 21, 2 verses here. Verse 37 and 38. Acts 21, 37 and 38. And this is Saul before his name was changed to Paul. Verse 37. And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, may I speak unto thee? Who said, canst thou speak Greek? Verse 38. Art thou not that Egyptian, which before these days made us an uproar and led us out into the wilderness, 4,000 men that were murderers? Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian. Contrary to all the pictures you so-called see of a Gentile with a bald head and hair on the side and a white face. The original Hebrews were black like me. Go to Songs of Solomon. Go back to the Old Testament. Songs of Solomon. That's before you get to the book of Isaiah. And right after Ecclesiastes, right before you get to Isaiah. Songs of Solomon chapter 1, beginning with verse 5. I am black, but calmly. Whoa! I am what? I am black, but calmly, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. So who is this? Because if this was Solomon talking, he would have said, as the tents of Kedar, as my curtains. It's the Lord talking by the mouth of Solomon. Said, I'm going to read that again. Verse 5. I am black, but calmly, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. Moving on. Go to the book of Psalms. Psalms chapter 105. Psalms 105. Verse 23 and 24. Verse 23. Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. Verse 24, and he increased his people greatly and made them stronger than their enemies. Who is this talking about? What is the land of Ham? I'll show you something. It's a history book. Zondervan Pictorial Bible, no, Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, and it's also in Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. This is talking about Ham, which I just read in the Bible. This is page 213. It says, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. What? He was the father of the dark races, but not the Negroes. So who was he the father of? Let's see. But the Egyptians? Whoa. Wasn't Moses mistaken for an Egyptian? Wasn't Joseph mistaken for an Egyptian? Wasn't the Apostle Paul mistaken for an Egyptian? Which means what? They look alike, but they're not of the same seed. Black folks are not African. They are not from the seed of Ham. They are from the seed of Shem. And I can show you that, but that'll be another lesson. It says he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. Let's show you something else. Well, got a little bit of time. Show you another picture of an Egyptian. Okay. Alrighty. There's the carving on the wall of an Egyptian with his, I don't know if that's Horus. It's one of the little pagan gods. See that? Got an owl's head or something. Moving on. Show you another picture. And the proof is in the pudding. Now this is King Tut's tomb. And in his tomb he has carvings on the wall of other Egyptians. Who do they look like? Do they look like the ones that call themselves Jews over in the land? No. They my color. I'm going to show you another picture. Same tomb, but it's got one of the excavators in there with it. And he's probably an Ishmaelite or an Arab. Or a Middle Eastern person, should I say. Now, you see the carvings on the wall. You see they my color. What color is he? He look almost like a Gentile, don't he? Do we have a tan? Anyway, now, back to the Bible. Go to the New Testament, Revelation chapter 1. Revelation chapter 1, 2 verses here. Verse 14 and 15. Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. You lucky this shade is right here because my eyes burnt red right now. Verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. Whoa, who is this talking about? It's talking about the Lord. So what, he had a skin disease or something? No. If his feet are burnt like they burnt in a furnace, why do they have all these pictures of white Jesus? That's not the original picture of Jesus. If they hid Jesus in Egypt as a child and he had a white face, they would find him just like that. Common sense. They say that white family that just moved in, they ain't go over there. Am I lying? Common sense is not so common. Show you something else. Turn to the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 10. Verse 6. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. Whoa. See what color Israelites are? Go to Job. Go to the book of Job. I mean, need I say more? I can go on and on and on. Job chapter 30. Because this book is clear. When you have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, it shows and proves. Job chapter 30 and verse 30. My skin is black upon me. Whoa! Ain't that clear? That's crystal clear. If you can't see that and it's written, man, you got to study some more. It's just that simple. Jeremiah chapter 8. Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 21. For the hurt of the daughter of my people am I hurt. I am black. Astonishment hath taken hold on me. I am black. What did Jesus say? Before Abraham was, I am. I'm going to post a link to search for Adam and Eve. The original Adam and Eve. Even scientists will show you that the first man was black. The first woman was black. Go to Hosea chapter 3. That's after the book of Daniel. I'll show you something. Because, well, I'm gonna let the Bible speak. Hosea chapter 3, beginning with verse 1. Then said the Lord unto me, Go yet love a woman beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress, according to the love of the Lord toward the children of Israel, who look to other gods and love flagons of wine. That's how they be an adulteress, because they serve every other god but him. Verse 2. So I bought her to me for 15 pieces of silver, and for an omer of barley, and a half an omer of barley. And I said unto her, Thou shalt abide for me many days. Thou shalt not play the harlot, and thou shalt not be for another man. So will I also be for thee. Verse 4. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim. And why? In verse 5. Afterward shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God, and David their king shall fear the Lord and his goodness in the latter days. Because the ones that call themselves Jews, they say the Lord gathered them in 1948. I'm going to show you something about that. Turn to Jeremiah 33. Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 16. In those days shall Judah be saved, and Jerusalem shall dwell safely. What? Are they dwelling safely over there now? They're supposed to be gathered back in 1948. But they fighting them Arabs on a daily basis, killing each other. So they have not been gathered by the Lord. Why they lying? They got stuff ready. They got stuff ready to build this third temple. But there ain't peace over there. See? Go to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Because in Leviticus 26 and Deuteronomy 28 is the blessings and the curses. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and one verse here. Verse 17. Says, Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Whoa. Those call themselves Jews, they blessed. They got all kind of big money. We ain't got no stores because we still under the curses. the conditions apply. And I'm going to show you. Daniel chapter 9. Daniel 9. The conditions apply to the children of Israel. Daniel chapter 9 and verse 8. O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. To the Lord our God belong mercies and forgiveness, as though we have rebelled against him. Verse 10. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God, to walk in his laws which he set before us by his servants the prophets. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us. And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. So it's confirmed when Daniel went into captivity with the Babylonians, that the curse is poured upon Israel. But the ones that call themselves Jews, they blessed. Ain't that so? So they can't be the true Jews. And I'm gonna give you another example. I'm gonna show you the proof is in the pudding, straight out the book. Go to Leviticus 26. No. Go back to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 23. Show you what the Lord said in his law. Deuteronomy 23, verse 19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Whoa. But the ones that call themselves Jews own the banking system. You see my t-shirt? It's the Chicago Bulls. We ain't got no banks. Years ago, it was some black-owned banks. Where they at now? They gone. I had an account there. You know what I'm saying? Because in the curses, it tells you that you is not going to prosper. That's why we the lowest of low in society. And it ain't going to change until the Lord return. But that don't mean you still ain't supposed to know who you are. And that's why it behooves me that all these Gentiles and all these other nations know the truth and refuse to tell it and refuse to believe it. They know all this prophecy, but don't want to tell who the true Israel is. Matter of fact, but I'm gonna show you. Go back to chapter 28. Deuteronomy 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Who that applies to? Ain't that a condition of us? We the lowest on the totem pole in society. Not just in America. I mean all over the world. The whole world. Because we under the curses. God is in control of this whole world. If God say he gonna do something, he gonna do it. That's why I read to you in Daniel, the curse is poured upon us. Skip down to verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Whoa! Egypt means bondage to us. And how you gonna get there? In ships. Did that happen to those that call themselves Jews? Wherever they went by train. And they went willingly. We went against our will in captivity and slavery on ships. Can't nobody else claim that. Nobody on this planet. So I done showed you color and conditions. Bottom line. And anybody that don't agree with what the scriptures say, they are lying. That's why Jesus said, many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. Woe unto them. because judgment is coming. Grace and peace multiply.